Wish it was the Cowboys.
Yeah, I just watch it for the commercials. So.
Commercials have become not quite my cup of tea last few Super Bowls. That's all I'm going to comment. You're just trying to get me in trouble. Bringing up Super Bowl.
I was just trying to get you to demonetize us, since we just went
live. Just jump off with it. Let me tell you what's wrong with the commercials at the Super Bowl.
Oh, man.
I could do it back and be like, so, Doctor Who.
It's on there. It's on the list this time. I finally put it on the list.
Yes, he actually did it. He watched the 3 specials.
I watched the specials. I got caught up.
He tuned out a lot. I had to make him watch it again.
I tuned out a lot.
No, this happened. And he's like, I don't remember that happened. So I'm like, no, we're going to watch it again. You're going to remember. That was sad.
And we'll talk about it later. Don't get me started. Yeah, okay, I get you. Yes, touche.
Yeah,
touche.
There you go. That's all I wanted to know. See, we can both start some crap.
Yeah. All right.
And then all we got to do is look at, like, our boy Bloodaxe and go, Star Wars. And then, like, see, look at this. He immediately hits the collar, like, Star Wars. My heart still hurts about that, man. I ain't going to lie. What they've done to my boy. What they've done to Star Wars, man.
All righty.
Mentioned a long time ago.
They're bringing back Ray Palpatine.
Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q.
And on Skype,
We got Bloodaxe.
let's get started. All right. What we got up first? Looks like something to do with Baldur's Gate 3. No, it is. It's all about Hasbro, man. Apparently, Hasbro has done another string of layoffs, and this time it was like 1,100 employees, and so many employees that apparently the CEO of Baldur's Gate 3, Dev Sween Vinci, said that basically the people he worked with aren't there anymore. So, like the team that worked on the profitable game. Very profitable game. They didn't even get saved from this round.
So no
of
Baldur's
layoffs.
Gate 4, huh?
Well, and that's my thing. I mean, like, okay, it sounds like Baldur's Gate 3 was relatively successful. You had this team that worked on. It increased their digital revenue by like 40%. Their digital video game revenue by like 40%.
So they're at 41%. Come on, dude. We played Dark Alliance.
Well, no, but they still make you gotta you forget that Magic the Gathering is in that digital realm, and Magic the Gathering
45%.
Magic the Gathering brings in a pretty good sum. It's
not barely not here. They gutted Magic and Wizard of the Coast.
Yeah,
they gutted those teams, and Magic was amongst the people they gutted.
But Magic the Gathering is still a cash camp for them, dude. You wouldn't think it from as much as they're gutting things, but I see. I go by the comic shop. I see the cards flying off the shelves. It's still a very lucrative.
Well, they
game.
may be flying off the shelf, but they flying off the shelf at the correct speed. Given how much consumption Magic has, the high rate, it would be really easy to see it still being sold and not realize that it's only at 10 or 15% of what it used to be. Because, dude, Magic used to be like just through, like you said, man. People would buy, they would push like thousands of cards out a day. That's how crazy the Magic machine was.
Well, obviously, yeah, it's not there anymore, but yeah.
And then all the money they lost on Kevin Smith's He-Man selling no toys, the She-Ra Netflix sold no toys. It's Hasbro. They sell toys. They're not selling toys. They also had the licenses for Star Wars toys, and those aren't selling. Did you know they decided not to do any Ashoka? They decided they're not even doing Ashoka.
Michael in the chat room says Magic the Gathering is still very lucrative and huge over in the UK. So, I'm seeing it here. He's seeing it over there. There's no way they're not making money, dude.
Then where are they losing the money that they had to lay off that massive
And I know
amount of staff?
several people who play Magic the Gathering digitally, and they waste tons of money buying cards.
Well, that's digitally, though, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I'm saying, though, so digitally it's profitable, too.
Then where are they losing the money then? Because they fired from the very specific group. They hit Wizard of the Coast. They hit Magic. That's where I heard the biggest hits were. Unless that's wrong, That's where the main hits landed. Which you don't fire the people that are making your money. You fire the people that are not making you money, right?
Well, I mean, it just sounds like they're wanting to make more money, and they figure if they fire people, it's a dumb concept. That I mean, what Michael said in the chat room talking about Games Workshop. Games Workshop's losing money, but still gives their employees bonuses because I think happy employees will bring a better product. I think the reason why we keep seeing Hasbro sink even more after every layoff is because if your job is in jeopardy, you're probably not putting 100% forward. You're looking for other opportunities.
Dude, you're overworked.
Yeah.
They cut off a bunch of staff, then other people have to work harder, and they had to do this under the threat of losing their job. Mm-hmm. So it's a double thing. Like you said, no, I'm agreeing with you that it's a combination of morale and then workload. Yeah. You can't ruin your morale and then demand more work. You're not going to get it. So it's a bad business move, but my question is that I'm just curious. I'd love to see numbers to support this. Was this just random layoffs, or are they trimming the fat where they're not making money? For example, if Magic has gone mostly digital, maybe they mainly fired people to do the physical cards.
Well, no, it hadn't gone mostly digital. Digital is still second rate to the cards, but
maybe they had. Maybe they fired out. Okay, I'm about to get in trouble. I'm about to say maybe they were picking out a certain departments that were unnecessary. They may have put in and then went back and said we don't need this nonsense.
Well, yeah, I mean maybe you would think, but I mean when it hit the people who were responsible for Baldur's Gate 3 and working with those teams. So
that is odd because Baldur's Gate 3 knocked it out the park from what I understand. I mean, I haven't seen numbers to know how much money Baldur's Gate 3 really made. And weirdly enough, I keep seeing other games being called the bestseller of 2023. But in theory, it did really well. I'm kind of weird about this. We just saw some stuff and they weren't listed as the bestseller.
Because you got to think, I mean, they had that huge sales bump when they released, but on PC, they had been out for 2 years, so they were surprised to see as much as they got on PC because it had been in beta for 2 years. They had gotten a lot of money already out of PC. Then you had the issues with Xbox. They didn't get resolved till like a week ago. So your only sales were coming from, your bulk sales would probably be coming from PlayStation. Now that Xbox, but I mean, it sounds like, from everything I hear, it's making money.
I hope that at some point we get some numbers on that though, just out of curiosity. Because here's the thing, I hear it's making money, but then stuff like this keeps happening, which makes you go, with all the money they should have made off of Baldur's Gate 3, they shouldn't have fired anybody from Baldur's Gate's team, right? You get me, Bloodaxe? Don't you agree? Like, if it's knocking it, just killing it, then they would have fired from everybody but Baldur's Gate, wouldn't they?
Let's see. Turn-based game Baldur's Gate 3 sold 22 plus million copies versus like Final Fantasy 16, 4 million. So
man, it's good for an RPG, but like, what is the best-selling game in 2023? I'm sorry, y'all, for this, but I'm just kind of curious because I'm not saying they're not selling. I'm just curious because I thought they were doing really good, but then I keep not. No, they're not anywhere on that list.
It looks like Zelda with 18.5 million. Well, that 22 million probably includes what they made in the last 2 years on PC.
So that's not that great if the other games are getting 15 and 18 in a single year versus like 3 years. Because, Hogwarts Legacy, the game that wasn't even worth bothering to get a nomination, is number 2 at 15 million copies in 1 year. If 22 versus 15, 1 year versus 3.
I think they had to have sold more than 2 million. I feel like there's a gap here with something. Yeah,
but they should at least made it in the top 10. Those numbers got all the way down to 5. So how many did they actually sell
Let's
this
see.
year?
Remnant 2 is listed as with 1 million in the first week. Well, that's first week sales.
Elden Ring. Well, Elden Ring's 2022.
Released all the way
Oh, no,
back
it's
in
in number
February,
17
and it's
in
still
2023.
doing well and a number 17 spot for 2023 game sales.
Number 2 in 2022 and number 17 in 2023. And that's a game of the year. Notice that. The number 2 bestseller was game of the year.
Capcom's Final Fantasy.
Dead Island 2 even up there. I'm sure we're going to see Baldur's Gate somewhere in here, right? Is it not even in the top 20? Because they had a game for 2023 in the top 20, so how much did it sell this actual year?
They just not released the numbers? No, this has Hogwarts as number 1.
Actually, I've been hearing Hogwarts is number 1, but they got Zelda on that other list higher. Okay. Are we being told this game is doing better than it really is? As far as money. I do think it's as good as everybody says it is. But is it making money like they're acting like it's making? Have we just bust something interesting wide open?
Let's see. Websites that track game ownership on the PC Store platform have greatly varying estimates ranging between
That is a
5
wild
to 27 million.
Hey, Bloodaxe, do you see this? Hey, Blood, do you see this, man? The
Hang
tracking
on a
site.
second.
Oh, everything all right? Hey, he man, shit on his kid.
Yeah.
But
Hang on.
5.4, no problem, man. We got you. 5.4 to 27. That is a $22 million swing in estimated sales. Is this game?
I don't know. It sounds like, yeah, it does sound like the
These are
numbers
not
could
big
be
numbers.
inflated.
Yeah, these are not big numbers, dude. No, not at all. Like, and it didn't even make top 20. And as it is, you can't say it's because it came out before. Elden Ring came out in 2022, and it's number 17. So they're still doing it this year. Yeah, thank you, Flynn. That is a weird gap in estimation. Is Baldur's Gate a fake success?
Sorry, the missus isn't feeling well.
No problem, man.
problem.
No,
Yeah,
but what you missed, dude, is the
this
swing
weird.
on estimated sales was 5.4 to 27 million. That's a 22 million copy variable. That doesn't sound right, does it?
So Baldur's Gate was expecting to sell 22 and only sold
No,
5?
no. There sites that are reporting how much it was sold range from 5.4 to 27 million. Meaning that everybody's reporting a different number that doesn't match. And the
That's a
swing
large
is over 20 million. Yeah, that's weird. On top of that, it wasn't on the top 20 list of 2023 sales. We
Well, it
just
sounds
checked.
like they haven't updated the figures since the 1.0 release. So it's all guesstimations because they're not releasing figures. Maybe that's why they're not on the list, is because they're not.
So, okay, well then I have to rescind it then. But based on this, I have to rescind what I said. Maybe they should have let people go from Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, I thought it was crazy they would let people go because I figured they were the ones making them the money. But remember, companies,
Yeah.
companies are wanting big profit. And if you can't even make the top 20, then yeah, you may have increased digital sales by 40% or digital income, but that may not be enough for Hasbro to consider you worth keeping.
Well, but that also, once again, it brings in the question of the legitimacy of the Game of the Year awards. As we've already questioned, with Hogwarts being the number one selling game
and not even being on it.
and Baldur's Gate, no one really knowing. It's got a hype train going for it, but what are the numbers? And it sounds like the numbers may not be as good as people are making them out to be because the hype train's so big.
Yeah, I mean, that does show a bit of a shadow over it because now you're going like, well, wait a minute. Especially when you compare the two, that a game that we know people bought the most of was snubbed, and a game that we have no idea how much was sold at this point. I mean, it could swing down high. Now, who knows? It may come out and it was 50 million copies, but they should have a sound estimate. There shouldn't be a 20 million gap. That's crazy. They should be able to narrow this down to a couple of million. They should. That sucks, man.
I think the reason why they have such a large range is they're going off of traffic, basically.
Yeah.
So they're going off of how many people. So they know there's probably 5 million copies out there because at some point there's probably been 5 million people playing at one point.
Oh no, I think it has a lot of activity, but spread out over a few years.
But the question is beyond that point,
So maybe Hasbro fired from Baldur's Gate 3 because when they checked the real numbers and they're not pulling a Disney, they're actually going by the numbers. They said, "Nah, man, we can save money if we do this. Like we won't lose money if we do this." Disney fluffs and just wastes money and doesn't seem to be making any logical decisions. But maybe Hasbro's like, nah, we're losing money.
Flynn in the chat room says, I would think Harry Potter would have a larger franchise fan base than being. Well, no, it does, obviously. I mean, we're looking at, I think you're looking at a huge, number one selling game. What was it, 20 million, 25 million that Harry Potter had?
Yeah. Oh, no. Well over 20 million. 22 to 25 million copies sold. Massive franchise. Made a buttload of money, and while it may not have the continuing traffic, people played it, and then they were like, okay, we played it. Yeah, but it sold. It sold. The game was hugely popular, and you can't, and that's the thing. It made a bunch of money. Yeah. And it made a bunch of money while it was being, blacklisted, and people were actively boycotting, and it still made a bunch of money. It was obviously a purposeful, because remember, who picks the games? It's not voters. We talked about this. Your vote of an actual gamer is only 10%. The other 90% is hand-chosen game reviewers.
You have no choice in the nominees. The nominees is done by hand-picked.
Purely by the game reviewers, and we know what game reviewers are like. So that's why I said the awards are only worth watching to see what's coming out. They're a complete lie. Yeah. You do not have a say-so.
Well, and that's going to be a question. I mean, the Game Awards are getting picked apart right now, so it'll be a question of how long they can keep up. I mean, right now they're considered a necessary evil, is what I've heard many people say. But, the other place was E3, where we heard about new things coming out, and E3 is no more. The E3 gaming convention is now officially dead forever.
Well, I can't feel bad for them because they made a couple of calls. I won't go into it, but if you follow us, E3 kind of got caught up in some opinions and made some calls. And to me, I felt they were going down when they decided that they were going to pick who can show up.
Well, I think that also has to do a lot with E3. E3 made a bad choice when I think they opened the doors to the public. E3 was a was a press event. It was a press event, and so if you had some kind of outlet, you could go to E3. If you were just some, Joe Blow, there was no reason for E3. And I think when they opened E3 to the public, I think they did it back in 2019. Of course, that brought a big issue too, because that was right during the COVID era as well. So
that hurt a lot too. Yeah,
but I think opening it to the public was a bad idea. I think it was best as a event where you let the press go. You get you had the demos, stuff like that. Once you add it to that crowd, it loses context.
And it stops being about games.
Yeah.
And that's when they made their mistake.
And then you already had Xbox and PlayStation and different, Nintendo and stuff sort of pulling out of E3 at times.
Yeah, I mean, to me, E3, not fully. It wasn't as bad as G4. But E3 kind of, like I said, made some bad calls. COVID was the biggest one, though. I'll be honest. COVID hit it the hardest. But I do remember there were a couple of controversies that popped up. And once you start moving away from, can I go enjoy a game, I feel like you're on the wrong track. Which is the reason I bring this up, because this is what I think is going to happen in Game Awards. I think the Game Awards is going to go that way because people are going to be like, well, if you're only going to pick games based on your political opinions, then you're going to lose half of the audience because we're a split country. This has been tested 100 times. We're practically split down the middle. So you're going to immediately go, well, you told everybody over here to F off. Notice the hand I'm using. You know what I'm saying? You told everybody over there to F off. Okay, now you just got this. Well, this is a hard audience to keep happy. Being real, okay? I'm not picking sides. I don't care. I have no political views. I've given up on politics. Country's going to explode in a few years. Don't care anymore. We're all going to die. But this is a hard audience to keep happy. Very hard audience to keep happy. You have chosen the most difficult path for young Padawan. So
I didn't really catch anything like that from E3.
Not E3, no. I'm talking about the Game Awards.
Oh, okay.
No. E3 was mostly COVID, sadly. COVID and PlayStation screwed them bad when they pulled out.
Well,
and then
PlayStation, other people, yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, didn't win the first one, PlayStation, though?
They were one of the first ones, the big ones to pull out originally.
And everybody knew they were done when the consoles pulled out. That was messed up. But they all want to do their own expo. So what happened? E3 got picked apart when everybody said, we can do our own thing. So they're more of a casualty. I took it back. I said they were pandemic, plus the companies all going, shoot, we got our own money. We don't need you. Because probably because each one of them wanted preferential treatment. E3's like, we can't do that. And they said, well, then F you. So E3 is a casualty of corporate shenanigans. The megacorps. What do you got on that, Bloodaxe?
I think it's similar to what we see with cable and the streaming wars, and people are pulling out and doing their own thing. Granted, the COOF didn't help anything at all, but people are wanting to save their premiere releases for their own shows. So it sucks because I've always enjoyed E3 every year, but it's one of those things that it's cyclical and it's going to fall apart and something else is going to come up. But I don't even watch anything else but E3. So even with the Game Awards, I didn't even pay attention to you guys that even mentioned it was coming up. So it's sad news, but it is what it is. But we'll see on how we get our information in the future, because I ain't watching the Sony Awards, that's for sure. It's right, my cat driving me crazy.
Yeah,
we got a new kitten. As you can see, he's got a mustache marking under his mouth.
Yeah.
So we call him the Frenchman.
All right. Well, speaking of premiere releases and announcements, Bethesda confirms Fallout 4 upgrade is coming in 2024. Basically, they're doing a re-release of Fallout 4, which, I mean, it's in that style of, I think if you already own it, you'll get it. So. But they
just don't stop, man. They just don't stop. It's like we got so many Skyrims. We have so many Skyrims. And now we're going to have so many Fallout 4s.
I might need to play Fallout 4. I haven't played that one yet.
Oh, yeah. You should definitely do it, man. It's on Game Pass, I think, so.
Yeah. Bethesda, man. You got it all.
Yeah, I've never picked it up.
Lucky they got Game of the Year. You're going to want Game of the Year. Hopefully they'll have Game of the Year.
Well, they'll probably have whatever this is that comes out next year.
Because they have Game of the Year for Skyrim, I think. That's just pretty cool. You get the whole kit. So hopefully you get the whole kit there. But yeah, we know Bethesda. I mean, we know Zeno's favorite joke is that he's like, oh man, you think Starfield may have great now, but by the time they release Starfield, 180p plus 4K plus, mode that makes coffee in 2028. It'll be awesome. That's because this is Bethesda. They'll keep re-releasing Starfield until you buy it, mofo. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it's an updated, it includes performance and quality modes for the Xbox and PlayStation, as well as some bug fixes.
Creation Club content.
And Creation Club content on consoles and Windows PC. So similar to the Skyrim Anniversary Edition.
Yeah, so there you go. So, hey, if you didn't like Starfield, you can go play Fallout 4 again.
For the first time.
You know, it's a fun game.
Dude, I played on PC, so even though it looks great in that shot, it really does look great. I mean, I can make it look unbelievable on PC. So, you know, I'll just go put on the mod and it'll look amazing. So, for PC, like, the re-releases are a joke for PC players. We're like, dude, we've already got better.
We've modded it better.
That's for Bloodaxe's console surf.
Oh no, that was the amusing thing with the Skyrim Anniversary Edition. We're like, yeah, all right, yeah, it's
it looked nowhere near as good.
Yeah,
dude, I downloaded that pack. That game looked incredible. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. Bethesda, just hire the modders, man. You can't beat these guys. Like, they made your game look so good. Like, it looks so great. I'm really hoping Starfield gets that treatment. Where you just go in and you literally go, hey, man, what game is that? Like, I want you to come visit, and you go, what are you playing? And I'll be like, that's Starfield.
that one.
You know, and he literally doesn't recognize the game. That's the hope. But yeah, like, that's what I want to see. I want to see Starfield be, like, modded to that point to where it becomes a masterpiece. And it's what they do. You know what I'm saying? It's what they do.
Yeah. Speaking of what the people do, you know, shit happens. The day before devs say shit happens after basically killing the game, 4 days after the release? Or the company going out of business 4 days after
the game. You can't buy it anymore. Yeah, I've heard of game fails, but even Golem lasted more than 4 days. Rise of Kong lasted more than 4 days. The day before, like, lasted 4 days, and then the company and the game were like, so yeah, I keep doing this because this is some post-mortem. You know what I'm saying? Stuff is dying.
I love the way that this article posts this. It's like the game's beleaguered developer who has taken to social circles to publish a heartfelt, emotional statement. This was our first big experience. Shit happens. That's so heartfelt and emotional, you know.
I was thinking it should have been, got your money, bitch.
Got your money, bitch.
Because, I mean, they got the money they could on those 4 days and cheese it. Because they also said, we ain't patching it. We ain't fixing it. Whatever you got, that's what you got. Sucker. And out. So they literally got the money they could and said, we're out.
Oh, that's great. Oh.
Dude, I've watched gameplay. That game is a masterpiece of whoa.
The company doesn't exist anymore, so I don't know how refunds work.
They don't. The company doesn't exist anymore. That's how you stop refunds when there's no one to refund your money. It's a gutted building, and they may have burned it down on the way out. That's what it is. It's like burnt out us. Where do we get our refunds from? Man, we don't know. Them guys are gone. So that's just amazing, you know, that, but this shows you the state games are coming out in these days. You know, like I said, it's just wild. I mean, again, we showed Rise of Kong, we showed Golem, and then this. It's like, that was a $40 game, man. And it's just like, but what got me is how they just quit. Like, I'm like, dang. They said, no, we ain't finna fix this. They called it quits. And I don't think the game was unfixable. Like, I didn't see it. I saw it. It wasn't great, but it didn't look unfixable. You know what I'm saying? It looked like a really bad beta, but you can fix a game. That's what you do betas for. That's what you do alphas and betas for. They apparently said hell no.
But yeah, if you didn't play the game for a full 24 hours in a 2-week period, then you can get a refund through Steam. Though, I mean, that's why they waited 4 days, because they figured most people will play 24 hours in 4 days.
24 hours, dude? I see 2 hours.
Is it 2 hours?
I see 2 hours. You are lying. Do not listen to this mofo.
I was listening to Flynn in the chat room.
Don't listen to Flynn. Flynn don't know what he's talking about. Flynn up here hit the 20. I saw 2. Maybe he do, but I saw 2. And that's way different. Got people.
Let's see.
Well, that's just a, like, going out of business. Like, tag, yeah. You need to see how many hours you are allowed to have played the game to get a refund. Because 2 and 24 is vastly different. 24 hours takes a while to build up to. You can do 2 hours in one evening. Well, yeah. Oh, Flint's saying he's gotten a refund on a game for less than 24 hours. We don't know what it is for this game, though.
So, yeah, long as a game has only been played for less than 2 hours, even if you, for some reason, have already played Dead or Alive for more than 2 hours, it's likely Steam will still honor your refund.
Likely. That don't mean guaranteed.
As suggested by an announcement from publisher. A handful of comments also seem to confirm that those players were able to get refunds.
Okay. Because I heard, okay, but I saw 2 hours.
You're all right. Okay, so the standard is 2 hours.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks from purchase.
Huh. All right. So, you still got hope for Redfield? I mean, I will say, at least they lasted more than 4 days. Redfall, yeah. Wow. That was funny how I threw Field in there.
You threw
Starfall or Redfield? Which one are you rooting for?
Man.
He's got hope, man. He won't let me break him because I keep going. It ain't gonna happen. He's like, man, they're working on it. I'm like, they ain't doing nothing that matters. And he's like, they just put a patch out. And I said the patch didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just hating on him, Bloodaxe. I've been hating on Redfall. Don't get me wrong. I want Redfall to get better, but I also don't have faith. God, remember? Look at that 6-month gap, man. I can't believe that 6-month gap in there.
Yeah.
There was a 6-month gap to another 6-month gap. What was that 4 months? It says 6 and then 2. So it might have been 4 months, but there was
it was pretty large.
So like
gap
4-month gap there. Then they did a month ago, but they didn't do anything.
I don't know, man.
But they lasted more than 4 days.
They still got to get those additional characters out for the people who did the DLC.
Yeah, they owe those people. They spend money.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting on Dead Island 2 to fix his multiplayer so that I can play with Bloodaxe without us not being able to sync up our games.
Well, speaking of multiplayer, apparently Naughty Dog cancels its The Last of Us multiplayer game.
Of course. I don't think Last of Us 2 did that well as they said it did. I still have my doubts.
Well, they're doing the Last of Us remake or redo whatever
that's because the show
remaster.
Well. That's because the show they ain't freaking Bethesda. They can't pull that off. Especially after they canceled the multiplayer. You already ditched one project. I don't have any hope for them.
Yeah.
I mean, the show did well now. The show did well. People apparently really like the Last of Us show. I don't think The Last of Us has the veterancy. Now, do note they're remaking the first one, though, because they know the second one's trash.
They already remade that. They remade the first one a while back. That's why it was successful. That's why they're remaking the second one.
Oh, no, this is a remake of the second one?
Yeah. Because the remake of the first one was really successful.
I know, the first one was good. The show's based on the first one. That's why you can't do a season 2 of Last of Us. That's the problem. It's like, hey, man, we really grew to love Pedro Pascal and Ellie, man. That's a great show there. Why? Revenge. That's not going to be the same show, man. Abby Smash. It is, you can't. You can't do a season or a show where everybody loved the first season and the next game is, we're going to F this dude up, man, bad. That's all we're about. Oh, and you like Ellie? Oh, man, it's going to be like, no, you left me. I'm all alone. Just bad. I don't care about spoilers. Ruin it. They ruined both their characters. But hey, if you like Abby Smash, I adopt little Chinese kid. We're like Joel, me, and little China.
Okay, you're borderlining on some stuff that I don't want to.
I didn't say what.
Anyways,
just jealous of Abby's abs and those arms when she got guns.
Dude, she's stacked.
She is stacked. Not in the way we normally like stacked. I'm talking about
All right, so speaking about stacking the odds, apparently Sony wants to stack the odds in your favor.
Okay. All right.
Sony may soon adjust game difficulty in real time based on your skill level. Basically, you should never have to worry about getting better at a game. It should just get worse for you. I mean, get easier for you.
Yeah, it'll just, whatever you're having a hard time with, the game will make it easier so that you're a terrible gamer.
Now, your second idea on what to call this mode, I enjoyed. The first one, not so much.
Game reviewer mode.
Yeah.
Game reviewer mode. This is for all those game reviewers. You know, it's accessibility. You know what I'm saying? It's accessibility. The game will literally coddle you and go, oh, you can't jump? Let's lower that. Still can't? Okay, put a ramp on it. There's a ramp. Just walk up the hill. There you go. Give us a high rating.
Oh.
Oh, you can't shoot that guy? They'll just start sitting still. Like how bad some of these game reviews are. They'll get the game down to the point where the dude just walks out and just grabs your gun and just goes, right here. Come on, pull the trigger, man. I got you.
I mean, dude, I feel torn.
I know
with
it
this.
sucks.
Well, here's my thing, and this is it is the second line of this thing where it says this could provide a more immersive experience, and I do agree with that. It's sort of hold on, let me finish this thought. You're DM.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have anybody in your party who can detect traps and disarm them.
Yes.
Do you tend to put in more traps?
I don't put in more traps, but I don't take out the traps.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, no.
Don't lie. You reduce the difficulty of traps and stuff because there's no one in the game that can take care of those.
Take your Hackmaster gun like cred, man.
The whole point is to make the game playable and people to be able to progress forward. It's the old DM rule of you don't stop. Oh, he couldn't pick the lock. Oh, well, somebody on the other side of the door heard him. Now they opened the door for him. Now you just got to fight this dude. And you are better at fighting than you are at picking locks, so you can probably achieve this goal.
But that's tabletop. This is a game. It's a set story. And tabletop is not about difficulty.
Yeah.
It's about a story. But a game, the gameplay is a part of the experience.
Now, being that I've read Flynn's comment, I'll go to my other side of what I don't like about this. Now, Flynn says a lot of games have easy mode, which have a story or a story mode.
Called story mode.
Combat is not as tough, so you can enjoy the story. Yes, I agree, and that's what this is going to get around. It's going to get around those people who bitch, whine, and moan that they can't beat Apocalypse mode. And they should be able to play and beat Apocalypse mode even though they suck at the game.
You don't play top difficulty with us. Stay in your lane.
And so you lose a bit of an awarding aspect by doing this because I like to push myself. I like to see how far I go. I like that there to be a mode that I can't beat because it gives me a challenge to try to beat it. You know,
you can beat Apocalypse if you tried.
Yeah,
I believe in you.
No, I can. It's an issue of the style of play to beat Apocalypse is not the style of play I want to play or I will enjoy.
And this is why I don't like this. As you know, while I like some builds, I also am stubborn. I'm that guy who will walk into a fight. Like, I play Remnant 2. One of the random mutators is Elemental Resist. I've had the hardest boss in the game pop up with Elemental Resist. I'll call him and bitch for 2 days straight trying to beat it. But I won't change my build. And then I'll finally go beat it like 3 a.m. in the morning. Got that sucker. But it was fun to push myself. But with this, why even bother with a build? I could just keep playing until my build works no matter what. For us people that like to crunch numbers, there's no point. Because the game will punk itself until it reaches whatever I'm doing anyway. What? It's true.
Yeah.
So there's no satisfaction to me. You know what I like about Elden Ring? Is that it's hard. Now, I was cheesy, boy. I poisoned people, stuck around, I backstabbed. But it's a hard game, and I beat it, and I beat it my way. I fought the hardest boss with the wrong weapon. It's fun to challenge yourself. But can you turn this on and off is the best way to put it. What I'm scared of is Sony is not known for caring how you feel and will probably not have this be something I could turn on and off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing is now I mentioned the tabletop, and it's because with tabletop, the DM can also be more dynamic. If somebody's being stupid,
He told him the other name. Bloodaxe told him the other name I had.
yeah. If somebody is being stupid, then you can punish them for that in D&D. And this, they're just going to be like, oh, well, apparently he's just not good at this. Let's make it easier. You know, and it's like, well, why even play a game? Why even play a game if you're not going to try?
I'm going to tell a quick story. Let me tell you something that happened with a gaming group.
Okay.
No, it's fast. No, it's not what you think. It's good. And honestly, I'm jealous because Kitsune's doing a better job than me. We played with a group, and they played their tabletop like that. No matter what decision somebody made, it worked out. I ran a game, and I drew consequences. So in my game, bad calls led to bad results. And I literally had this group look at me and say, I don't really like it when there's consequences for my actions. That was a real thing said to me by an adult. Now, Kitsune's been running for him, and he's been kind of weaning him into it. I went a little hard because I told him, I said, look, I play for experienced players. He's a little slicker than me. He's been lightly tapping in the concept of consequences. And still, last session, we had kind of a comment of, I can't stand the consequences of my actions. And I'm just like, this is what this does. It creates a bad gamer because you start to think it's a good idea to use a fire sword, as we saw in the anime, on a fire salamander. Because the game just goes, okay, let's knock down the immunity. They're not getting it. Let's just make the fire salamander vulnerable to fire, whatever. Yeah. You know, because...
Fight fire with fire. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say is that we foresee that this will make the gap. Because here's what it's going to do. It's going to make Sony a very popular console for certain people. But Jesus, when they go over to someone else's house and jump on an Xbox, it's going to be bad. When they have to play a real game, they jump on with me and Bloodaxe, and we're going crazy Gears 5 hardcore with nothing but a pistol and a dream. They're going to be like, what's going on? Why aren't the enemies standing still for me? Why is the ammo flying into my hands when I look at it? And you're just like,
I want to say if they don't force this, they do it like a story mode or an immersive mode.
Well, that's fine. Story mode.
Then I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
You know,
but I don't want this to be the baseline, especially because God, imagine what this would do if you then went on a PvP game. Ooh, get into those tryhards. They're going to eat you for dinner. But I foresee this causing two types of games. There's games, it is going to create a divide. Like I was teasing when I said get on our level. I believe anybody can practice and reach a competence level to where they can at least play. And you can play with me. I'll teach you. What do I do on Remnant 2? I'm jumping on helping people beat the game. He knows it. I jump in now because I've got my build. I help people beat the game. I show them where the secrets are. I'm helping folks. But you're going to have, you thought Dark Souls had an elitist thing? This is going to make a really serious divide of people who are like, we play real games, you play kiddie pool. So it's going to make, and sadly it won't be an insult, it's going to be true, because this game is going to make you suck. You're going to get so much aim assist that you're not even going to know how to aim straight anymore, right, Bloodaxe? You get a certain amount of aim assist, you can't even shoot straight.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it just stays to Sony and doesn't branch off and bleed into Xbox and Nintendo.
We'll burn that sucker to No, we ain't going to allow that.
I tell you what, in the new Metroid game Dread, it took me several times to beat several of the bosses because they were so damn hard. But I had a feeling of satisfaction for actually completing it and doing it my way, as opposed to we're gonna expand the parry window, or we're gonna give you unlimited missiles or whatever. So I hope that it stays with Sony because we don't care about Sony anyway.
No, Sony sucks, yeah. But I feel bad for Sony players because they are gamers. I mean, I joke, but they are gamers. They're fellow gamers. And it's a shame that Sony wants to actively treat them like they can't at least. Because here's what that tells me. There's already difficulty modes in the game. You said that. It's like they're saying, you're not even smart enough to know what difficulty to pick. It's like, dude, just let them pick the difficulty that matches their playstyle. That's all you do. When I went to go unlock the
it's a little more complicated than that, though, because, I mean, the point of the patent is not to necessarily... It's so that it can dynamically choose difficulty. So if you suck at the platforming aspect, so jumping from platform to platform, you suck at that, but you're good at the guns. Or you suck at driving, but you're good at ground combat. Well, then they'll make the ground combat more difficult to match your skill, while they'll make the driving easier to match your skill. And that's why
then how do I get better at the driving?
Yeah. Well, no, and that was my point.
I know. I'm reiterating that.
But it's basically to go, okay, so you're not good at everything. We got you. You know, you can still have a challenge for where you're at. But yeah, it cuts back on the improving.
Because I want to eventually reach a point, because I'm tolerable. I mean, Bloodaxe played Far Cry with me. I wasn't the worst driver, but compared to what I used to be, I'm infinitely better than I used to be. Right, Bloodaxe? I was able to keep the vehicle on its wheels. If you remember way back in the day, I couldn't keep a vehicle on its wheels, remember?
Well, there's that, and you were better than flying than I was, and you suck at flying.
Well, and that one I could fly, but geez, man. Like, dude, I just manned up. Starfield, what was it, Rogue One? I just had to accept it. I was a game reviewer. I was so bad, man. I could not handle that 360 flying. I was terrible. But I don't want you to make it easier for me. It just lets me, because you know what? It lets me get to look at Bloodaxe and go, hey, man, you always say I'm better at gaming than you. No, I'm not. Because I can't do that, and you can. It just creates skill groups that people are good at. We all can't do everything, dang it. Stop participation awarding everybody. Move on. I'm getting annoyed thinking about it.
Get you some orange slices, buddy.
I didn't need orange slices, sucker. I beat Apocalypse. Then I beat it again. Then after they nerfed me, I beat it again to prove I could beat it when my build was nerfed.
Uh-huh. All right.
What else you got?
Epic Games wins lawsuit against Google.
That was so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about this, but...
Because they lost to Apple.
Yeah.
But they won versus Google.
Well, and here's why they say that. So apparently they found documentation where Google had here's the hypocrisy though. Here's the hypocrisy. Google was willing to pay billions of dollars to stifle alternative apps by paying developers to abandon their own store efforts and direct distribution plans, and offering highly lucrative agreements with device manufacturers in exchange for excluding competing app stores.
Wait, that sounds really familiar.
Does it?
I swear that was literally what one particular platform was exclusively about.
Oh, could you mean Epic Games?
To the point of literally going into people's Steam folders and stealing the information. Remember that?
Well, yeah.
Remember when literally if you had Steam and you got Epic, it was looking in your Steam folder?
Yeah, but the more viable information is where they're paying developers to hold games off them.
Borderlands 3 was what we had to wait. What was it? Was it 6 months or a year, Bloodaxe?
A year.
A year to play. Epic does this all the time. It lives by this.
Yeah, they offer highly lucrative agreements.
We won't charge you. You can keep all the profits, man. Plus handies for everyone. They'll do anything they can to keep it off of the other platform. Wow. That's going to get appealed. It's got to. Because one, it was a jury. And juries don't always follow the law. And while they did have some questionable stuff in there, they didn't break the law. Plus, it was a California jury, and nobody respects California's opinion.
I mean, the law is always. This is one of those really squishy points of the law is monopoly and business, competitive business. Because I mean, we've seen monopoly cases get lost by companies that obviously did not have monopolies. It's always one of those really touchy areas. I don't believe that that Google is really doing anything that isn't. I mean, they're doing what's best for their company. That's what they're trying to do here.
What they're doing is standard practice. That's what you're trying to say. Like, it's not they're doing anything special. They're doing what most of the companies are doing. I think it's going to get appealed. Reason why is, like you said, legally they haven't broke the law, and protecting their business, they're not doing any more than anyone else is. Heck, they're not even doing as much as Epic is doing. And you can't just make somebody allow you to use their stuff. I mean, I don't think that's legal either. Like, if I have an app, you can't say, I'm going to put my stuff on your app, period. And you're like, not unless you pay me. And goes, I ain't going to pay you, and I'm going to use your app. I just have a problem with the idea of them being able to go, no, you are going to let me do it, and I'm not going to pay you what you want. Well, then you can't use my app. To me, that just immediately becomes, well, then you can't use that. And that's not a monopoly. That is, we didn't make a deal. You can't come to me and say, I want to buy your car. I want $30,000. I'll give you 10. No. Well, I'm going to make the courts make you sell it to me for 10. I'm like, no, I'll keep my car. It just bothers me. I know it's a company, but it feels like it's infringing on Google's rights to force them to allow people onto their platform if they're not willing to play by their rules. If you don't want to do what Google says, you got your own dang platform. Epic in particular has its own platform. I mean, it'd be different if they were sued by an indie company, but a company that is a platform, that has a platform that uses exclusivity, does all those things, definitely shouldn't be the one to sue someone else and do that. That's just weird. Like, a company that practices these practices is suing another company and managed to confuse a bunch of Californians. Yeah, and I'm like, really? Come on, man.
Well, also, just because you don't...
Google and Epic are both evil.
Yeah, the thing with Google is, unlike Apple, even if you don't, your manufacturer doesn't include an alternate app store, you can sideload one. You can actually put in, I mean, Amazon, you know, you can install the Amazon App Store. Samsung does come with their own app store. It's a pain in the ass to use because, you know,
not as big as Google.
Not as good as Google's, but hey, they have their own app store. You know,
there's options.
So they obviously said no to Google when Google tried to get them not to use. You know, because they saw the money themselves. They're like, I don't know. I think I'll make some good money if I do the app store more than what you're offering me.
And that's my conflict, is that I don't like the idea of one corporation going to another corporation going like, we don't want to do business with you by your deal, and not accepting the consequences of, well, then you don't get to use our app store.
Yeah. Because the thing is guess what? You can't install the stuff from Epic Games. You can't play Fortnite on Apple. Guess what? You can still play it on Google. You can sideload it. You know, you can't do that on Apple. So how can you tell me it's a monopoly and that they're holding you basically hostage, you know, and stopping you from using if you can still use it? Yes, it's more of a pain in the ass, but that's what you're paying Google for.
That's why Google charges you the money.
Yeah.
Guess what? You want to use the best platform? It's going to cost you. That's just business.
I wouldn't say the best platform. You want to use their platform.
You want to use, well, they're acting like it's the best. That's kind of the point. They're going like, this is the only one to use. It's worth using. It's like, okay, then they're going to charge you. You by yourself are proving they have a reason to charge this.
Well, I was just saying, best is
and I mean, I really defend big companies, but I don't think Epic is legit. I think Epic is just trying to get even more profits by screwing someone else over. Epic screws people over. Remember what I said about that game where they just stole Rock Band? The Epic concert thing that's just effing Rock Band? Epic steals people's... Fortnite steals people's dances. Fortnite steals people's games. They get their characters and do crappy versions of them. Epic is just greedy, and they're now using the law to get every penny they can and screw over it. Okay, now, do I think it's going to come back to bite them? Oh, heck yeah, because even if they win this, Google's a big company to put on your enemy list.
Well, yeah.
That's going to come back. And Apple's a big company to put on your enemy list. I think that they're getting greedy
I mean,
and not
once
looking at the
again,
long term.
it's the hypocrisy. I mean, and here's the thing: Epic has its own store.
Yep.
You know,
and does all the stuff right there they're complaining about.
And they take a cut from people on their store. They take a cut of transactions. They take a cut. Now, of course, they're also not taking a cut from some people so that they'll be exclusive to their store, offering those lucrative
deals to stop competition.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, you can't do these things while pointing a finger and saying, wah, 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 this guy's doing this. Oh, we're doing it too, but we're better than them. We don't we do it in a good and honest way.
Yeah, but we do it's okay because it's us.
Yeah. So.
It's hypocrisy. Screw Epic. Google appeal this and slap them suckers down and make a coalition of anti-Epic and run them out of business, because I'm hoping they go the way of some of these other companies. We got so many that early on were killing off. I won't miss Epic.
Oh.
And don't think that, oh no, but you're trying to ruin Fortnite. No, somebody will buy Fortnite. Somebody will buy Fortnite. If Epic goes under, somebody will buy Fortnite. Maybe you'll finally get a decent version of the game, and it'll be less nonsense, and they'll actually pay people when they jock their dances and their things. Well, that'd be interesting. They actually start giving people proper credit and sharing the money. That'd be weird, wouldn't it?
I think Carlton's still salty.
Dude, man, that was cold. Carlton, man, they got so many people. The dude from Scrubs got screwed over too, because he made that dance, man. That dance was only existing on that show.
All right. Let's see what we got next. Netflix is at it again. Netflix is casting Denzel Washington as a historic figure that was white. So anyway, Netflix has pissed off an entire region of Africa due to their changing the color of a guy. Oh, this is just Netflix at it again, honestly. So, what you looking up over there, man?
That does not look like a black guy. Check here. No, not there either. Well, it's not like they made. Let's see if there's any. They're like they got a pic. Oh, they got a lot of artistic depictions. Yeah.
Let's see.
But it's Denzel.
Nope.
You can't wrong with Denzel Washington.
Yeah. I love me some Denzel Washington, but.
So this is, yeah.
Wow, they got him in color. That makes it a little bit harder to do it, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, they also have historic descriptions of the guy. There's statues, there's paintings.
So, here's a trick that you may not know. There are white people in Africa. I know, it's hard to believe. There are black people in England.
But, apparently there's
around
been
the world.
Quite a bit of outcry. Of course, the ministers say that they actually didn't pay attention to the color of the actor at the time. They were trying to get some of the filming to be done at location so that they could get some revenue from that. And
you would think after the Egypt lawsuit, Netflix would not start another.
You would think.
kerfuffle.
You would think.
Huh. I'm surprised Denzel would sign up for that. Because he knows that. Well, I mean, if you're going to hire somebody, at least they hired a really good actor.
Yeah.
But there is that. I mean,
honestly, case of they hired
if you were going to race swap me, Denzel Washington is a...
No. It ain't Scooty Goodwa, whatever his name is. It's a dude. It's a award-winning actor. So maybe they went for the talent. It's very possible.
Well, you never know, because I think Samuel L. Jackson did a wonderful Nick Fury, and that was race swapped.
Well, yeah, but that's not a historic character. That's a fictional character.
Yeah, this is a historic character that thing. I mean, at least in Doctor Who, when they did it to Isaac Newton, Doctor Who's already become a ridiculous fantasy comedy.
Yeah.
But like this is supposed to be almost like a
Doctor Who hasn't
documentary.
been good
isn't
in
it?
years.
Yeah, and that's sort of the weird thing there. Now, I mean, yeah, we'll talk about the Doctor Who Isaac Newton thing here in a bit. I will say I did finally watch those, but yeah, no, it's just amusing to see Netflix do this again, especially after the whole Cleopatra thing. You know,
Nobody watched that mess either. So, but I don't think it. Whoever they would have cast, because Jada Pinkett Smith was behind that one. I think that one was doomed from the beginning anyway. But I mean, this could be interesting if done well. That I would be more interested in seeing this than I would see the new Snow White with Zellweger. At least that this has a quality actor.
I mean, my big thing is
I mean,
I'm
it's
not
gonna be good with Denzel.
I'm not big on people getting race swapped from any story, fictional or historic, you know. But I can deal with fictional.
Yeah, Nick Fury was a pretty good change. I liked Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury. Well, I liked until Disney got a hold of him. It's pretty awesome up till Disney. Till Secret Wars. Oh, this was terrible.
I haven't seen that either. I haven't
It'll hurt
been
your
paying
feelings.
attention since Endgame. To be honest
That's
with you,
the best place to stop. There you go. You've done well, my friend. I'm proud of you. That is it.
I mean, the only thing I watched was Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and that was meh. But I mean, it wasn't bad. But Shang-Chi, haven't seen it. Eternals, don't care. The Marvels, oh my god.
Shang-Chi's not a Marvel movie. It's a Kung Fu movie, and it's not a bad one. We actually like Shang-Chi. As a martial arts movie, it was pretty good. To give you an idea how bad Nick is. Oh, go ahead, man.
Even Doctor Strange. While I really enjoy Doctor Strange, the movie, the concept just really didn't interest me.
Yeah.
So until they find something that actually catches my attention, I'm checking out on Marvel the way I am on Star Wars. But right now, I don't know where to put my money except behind the Dolphins. So right now I'm just sitting on a lot of stuff because there's nothing good coming out.
There's a literal line from Nick Fury in the Marvels movie where he says "Black Girl Magic." He tells Photon to use Black Girl Magic. I don't know what the hell they did to that character.
I don't know. Speaking of characters, here it is. I'll finally have broken down, and
We're gonna keep him now. We decided we're gonna keep him.
and have watched Doctor Who current. And I will say, I watched the 3 specials. The first one was so jam-packed full of preachy wokeness that I was surprised I was still able to like it. But it actually, I gotta say, the 3 specials did pick up a lot better quality writing than I've seen from Doctor Who in a long time. I talked about, towards the end of Matt Smith and most of Capaldi, and then, whatever the hell that was after that was some of the worst writing I've ever seen in Doctor Who. They did decent with the writing here. Now, they got really preachy in the first one. The second one was actually a really good and closed episode that I thought was probably the best of the 3. And then the third one had some really high moments, but they did do a little bit of preachiness in it as well. But it was a lot of callback to the old Doctor, which I do enjoy, the nostalgia, that dopamine you get from nostalgia. But I will say I have concerns, though, every time I hear the actors are, Russell T. Davies talk about the future of Doctor Who. I watched the trailer for the Christmas special. Q despises it, thinks it's going too far. I love it. The Goblin song, I almost want to learn it so I can sing it myself.
I will punch you.
But I will say, when the actors come out and say things like this, it does concern me. It says Doctor Who's lead says series will definitely address protagonist's new race. Feature episode inspired by actors' very leftist liberal bubble. Now they could go a lot of ways with that. I feel like I'm doing false hope by thinking of anything, but we all have a bubble. It would be interesting to see the bubble addressed, not necessarily the very leftist concept.
How? Because as the Doctor, he's not in a bubble.
Well, no, the actor's bubble is what it's saying, though.
Interesting. I will say this. He's changed my opinion that maybe the 3 spells aren't that bad. The first one I still think is terrible, and while he enjoyed it, he admitted it was pretty rough. Second one at least seems to be, like you said, a contained story. The third one, we watched some highlights, and I know I'm going to get in trouble. I can't quite. Ncuti Gatwa gets on my nerves.
I don't mind him, honestly. He is a very flamboyant Doctor, but I'm used to very big personality changes between Doctors, so I'm fine with that.
It's not even just him. I never liked any of the more flamboyant. I mean, remember, like the 4th Doctor, I kind of liked the straightforward, stoic Doctors the most. That's because I started with those Doctors. That's why I didn't really watch David Tennant and some of the other Doctors. I thought they were kind of out there. He remembers how excited I was when they first showed Garibaldi, because Garibaldi seemed like a return to that stoic Doctor. Then, I kind of sat out, and I didn't really pay attention, and somebody told me he had sonic shades, and I said, well, screw it. He's riding a tank playing a guitar, and I said, well, clearly I was wrong. We're not back to stoic Doctor. But I was kind of hoping for that because that's the Doctor I knew. So I have a preference. And Ncuti Gatwa is very far away from my preference in Doctors. He is very larger than life. And I can tell, even in the Christmas thing, he was saying stuff that just seems so stupid to me. Because it's like, oh, wow, wonderful. No, even his band is like, no, that's not wonderful. What the hell? We need to not let them eat a baby. And I'm just like, oh, he is going to be an idiot, isn't he? Because he almost comes off as kind of like an idiot.
I didn't get that. I did not get that at all. Now I will say I didn't feel like he came
his
off
reaction
as
to that scene and just some of the stuff, even with the whole how he tried to describe how they made the second TARDIS, did not sound very. It was like, wait, wait, watch this. It's gonna be cool. Whee! And I'm just like.
I will say that was probably the most disturbing part of it was the whole second TARDIS thing. I didn't quite.
Just the execution, man. There was no dignity in it. Look at this picture. Show them his silly face like,
I think, I don't know, dude. You seem to, have a visceral that I don't get.
Well, there's an underlying thing. Flynn would probably get it. You might have a little more trouble with it. It's the minstrel. Sure. Yeah, you know where I'm probably going. The minstrel.
Oh, I get where you're going with it.
Yeah, I don't really like.
I can't disagree.
The shuck and jive to entertain the white folks. Okay, I don't like what he's doing. I think that he does not have the dignity of the other Doctors. I don't. Hey, look, it's just an opinion. I think he's a clown,
dude. We had sonic shades, and you think that's a loss of dignity? We had sonic shades.
Well, I didn't sit through sonic shades.
We had playing a guitar, riding a tank with sonic shades. There is no dignity left in Doctor Who.
You're all right. That is pretty bad. But on a personal level, I would have liked him to have been taken a little more seriously and put on some damn pants. I'm sorry, but it's like the way Flynn, you remember how they used to, yes, Flynn, he gives off not as bad, but he's got a little JJ in him. I mean, if he hit you with a dynamite, I might not be shocked.
He is nowhere near a JJ. That is
a little bit.
No.
But they didn't even put the man in pants, Flynn. He's in his underwear the whole time he's on screen. And I'm like, it just didn't feel dignified. It did not feel the dignity they've given the other Doctors, at least upon their first appearance. And I'm worried that he's going to keep clowning. And that's why I'm like,
he even gave himself, David Tennant, doctor advice.
Yeah, like a magical Negro. You want to play this game with me? You can't beat it. I've lived this life. I got 45 years of experience in this fight. You can't win.
No, I mean, I get it. You can take anything out of context and make it out to be either racist, sexist, or whatever. I get it.
He had to tell that man how to fix his life. He gets the doctor and he's like, you need to stop. You're not well. I'm going to advise you what to do with your life.
They gave him his moment, just like they've given every other doctor a moment.
Just walk away with Catcher Freeman and whistling Catcher Freeman. You're going to teach him how to play golf next. You know what I'm saying?
And there's been several of the doctors you can't take serious. I thought he came off more serious than like Matt Smith.
See, even Flynn is saying he could have. I just would have liked. Plus, I also was hoping for him as serious doctor. I believe they wouldn't have done this to our boy Idris Elba. No way they would have done that with Idris Elba. Idris Elba. That's why I wish it had been
because Idris Elba wouldn't be a flamboyant character.
Also, Idris Elba would be like, I'm gonna put on some pants. Like he'll be like, give me some pants, man. All right.
I don't know why you are so focused on the like. I didn't even pay attention to the fact that he hadn't put on pants.
You didn't pay attention to half the lines. You didn't remember stuff. I had to play it for you again, as you just blocked out the worst parts.
You were so afraid of a guy on screen that's not wearing pants.
I'm not afraid. Why's it got to be the brother running around in his underwear? Why couldn't Matt Smith been in his underwear?
Because Matt Smith's old and nobody wanted to see David
Why
Tennant's
didn't he
old.
get the pants?
Nobody wanted to see David Tennant without pants on.
When they split the clothes, and the black guy had to wear David Tennant's used underwear, and they had him run around his underwear. You don't feel? You want to know what? You know what? Don't maybe go worse. I mean, like they didn't put him in some clothes. No, boy, you put on that shirt and them underwear and get out there and work. All right, you want to get ugly about it?
You were just trying to make. Look,
I don't feel he was dignified in the way they did him. I don't think it's his fault, mind you. I feel like they decided to play him like that. They did not do this to Garibaldi. They did not do this to the last doctor. They did not introduce any doctor this clownish.
I would advise anybody who is listening to this to watch it themselves and make your own opinion.
That's always the thing to do.
Because definitely don't take Q.
Don't listen to anybody that tells you anyone's opinion's invalid. You should watch it yourself. I am stating, did I not say I could not stand his
think
performance?
You're purposely exaggerating it.
Not really. It annoyed me quite a bit. I'm actually, you think I am, but you're wrong. Okay. It was annoying because I kind of felt like he was a clown. I felt like it was silly.
I didn't see that. Like
I will say this: the entire tone of the episode is rather silly because Neil Harris, as a toy maker, is flamboyant, colorful, and entertaining, and it was pretty good. But I felt like they could have reined it in a notch with Shooty, because at a certain point, I felt like he was like, haha, like me, yeah, woohoo, Robin Williams, okay, we'll do something different. Like, Robin Williams, like, hey, wee, hoo, hoo, oh, I'm sorry, baby, I hit the TARDIS, I'm sorry, honey. And no, I did not make that up, he uses that word. Like, it's a lot, and it made him come off, I can't take him seriously right off the bat. And I was just like, dude, really? You're coming off as you're going to be a really silly doctor. Now, Russell D. Davis said that's what he's doing. He said he's going for fantasy and fun. So, again, this is not saying Shooty Gatwa is a bad actor. I've seen some of the other show. I had to go check it out to figure out who he is. Dude can act. This isn't how he acts, though. I think he's a little more serious in the scenes I saw him in the other show. So, but it seems like he's planning to really be an excited doctor. Just really excited. I'm not feeling it. Now, that's just a difference of opinion. I'm not a Doctor Who fan. We've stated this. I'm not a big Doctor Who fan.
I felt this
I don't
energy,
like a grim doctor.
I felt this energy came from other doctors, similar in energy. I don't think he was doing anything really unique, but it wasn't his episode. It was a goodbye to David Tennant. I think we'll really know more about how his personality will be with the Christmas episode. Yes. Now, with the dark tone of the Christmas episode, it actually does make me look forward to hopefully maybe a darker tone. I mean, that was what I was wanting from Capaldi, was a darker tone.
I know. I want a darker tone. I want to.
And they may be able to hit those darker tones with a more jolly, flamboyant doctor to sort of balance that out.
You know what? It's Christmas. I also hope that they're able to hit it and it works. Because the thing is, I want Doctor Who to come back to being good. I really do. Because I want to get back into it. And there hasn't really been a doctor that's tickled my fancy. So, we'll see. Plus, with how much they changed Garibaldi, we don't know what he'll be by the end of the season. Because they changed it. He's not wrong. Garibaldi started off really coming off like that old school doctor.
Anyway, I think we're going to wrap it up there, guys. If you watch the episodes, let us know what you think. Watch the Christmas episode. I'll watch the Christmas episodes of the episode, our show after the Christmas episode. I will definitely talk about it. So come and tune in. And all right, guys.
Are we doing a show next weekend?
What is next weekend?
I think it's Christmas.
Christmas Eve is next weekend.
Okay, yeah, we will not be doing a show next weekend.
All right. So we'll get you, we'll probably do one on the New Year's.
But I mean, it'll be the Christmas episode. I think it'll be Monday because Christmas is Monday. Yeah. So we'll do one on New Year's. All right, guys. Be sure to check out Dicejunkies.com where you find links everywhere online: Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.